It's time for AEW Double or Nothing predictions. Hey guys, welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, where I always say it's where today, we are going to break down the Double or Nothing card that is going to come to you guys live this Sunday, where we've got 8 matches going on the Double or Nothing card, a bunch of stipulation matches, a couple of Owen Hart Finals going on. We don't yet know what the main event of the show is going to be. We have a couple of predictions for that, but the show is going to be coming to you live from the Desert Diamond Arena in Phoenix, Arizona on Sunday, May the 25th. And as always, I'm Mike with the 716 Sports Entertainment, joined by Mr. Sean O'Neill. And Sean, let's break it down. Let's uh let's just start from what is probably most likely going to be one of the opener matches here, I think. And I'm going to go with the Continental Championship between Kazuchika Okada versus Speedball Mike Bailey. So I'll kick it over to you. Who do you got and why?
So first off, we have quite the weekend of wrestling coming up this weekend. It's going to be pretty jam-packed between Saturday night's main event, this, and the NXT show. So no matter what you like, you're going to see what your style of wrestling you prefer. You're going to get some sort of match to cater to that style.
Absolutely.
Um, I mean, Okada, I'm not a big Speedball Mike Bailey fan, and I don't. He's still relatively new to AEW, and I don't see him dethroning Okada, especially with them doing all their elite storyline, sort of with the Death Rider stuff that's going on. And I know we don't really cover a ton of AEW, but I think that Mike Bailey would be better off teaming with Kevin Knight once he gets back from Japan and going after the tag titles. So I think Okada retains here.
Yeah, I think I agree with what you said there as well. I think it makes sense for Okada to retain here because from everything I understand, they're trying to have him versus what is it, Kenny for or is it Kenny for the
Yeah,
to combine the titles for the Continental title and whatever title that Kenny's holding right now. So
that's
I
the
feel
money.
like they're building towards that match. So I think it makes sense for Okada to retain here, at least for the time being. I like Mike Bailey. I mean that triple threat he had a few weeks back or one pay-per-view ago was Revolution with Ricochet and Kenny
Right.
Omega was pretty fantastic. Like he didn't feel like the third wheel at all in that match where like, somebody who doesn't watch AEW, me on the regular, um, I was like, I don't even know who this guy is, but he really held his own and he really had some really awesome high spots. So I expect this match to be awesome. Okada's awesome, and yeah, it'll be a good one for sure.
Like you said, the money match is Okada Omega.
Yeah.
Um, so I doubt the guy who looks like he should be selling cigarettes on the reservation is going to win this match. So
Next, we have a tag team match. FTR versus Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia. Um, Daniel Garcia is certainly, up and coming. I'm not sure how I feel about Nigel McGuinness yet. We'll kind of see like how he does in the ring. I think it kind of makes sense for FDR to win this. I'm probably going to go with them to win this just because of, the story that they're in, obviously what they did recently to Edge and kind of like them needing to kind of build themselves back up again, I think, to get themselves back into the tag team championship picture. I think it makes a lot of sense for them to win this. And I kind of see that there'll be probably some chemistry issues between Nigel and Daniel Garcia. Although Daniel Garcia is certainly up and coming star for AEW, I think FTR takes the win here.
so shout out, of course, to Daniel Garcia being here from the 716. Gotta give him credit for that. But I think the only way that FTR doesn't win this match, and mind you, this is AEW, so no doubt there's going to be shenanigans of some sort in every single match. But I think the only way FTR doesn't win this is if Cope, or I refuse to call him that, Edge comes back.
Edge. I'm not
And
even gonna do it. It's Edge.
I feel like the only way that Garcia and McGuinness have a chance to win is if Edge comes back and helps them win. Otherwise, this should be a pretty easy FTR win. I mean, you're going up against Garcia and a glorified announcer, so and you FTR likes to claim they're the best tag team in the world. Um, Having them lose this match just completely sort of derails that claim.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Next we have a stretcher match between Mark Briscoe and Ricochet, excuse me. And I know these guys have really had some personal beef going on for a while, and it really seems like, a stipulation match is probably the right way to go here. So these two guys can just like go to war, right? But who do you got and why?
But first off, I'm not exactly sure what the rules of a stretcher match are, so it's kind of hard to justify that.
It
But then when you
says
compare
the
when
only
you
way
when
to
you
win, the only way to win is incapacitate your opponent where they must be stretchered out.
okay, so it's basically just a hardcore type match.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean when you look at the tail of the tape here of Andrew Tate versus your local meth addict, um, I feel like no insult to both these guys. They're both fantastic wrestlers. Mark Briscoe is great, but he's that guy who it seems like they expect to always put on a great match and then take the pin. I expect that to be the story here again. Ricochet has been, as much as I hate his work or the stuff he's been pulling outside of wrestling and his attitude towards things, his work as a heel and this Andrew Tate-esque character he's been portraying has been some of the best work that he's done. I mean that match against a one-legged Zach Gowen on last past week was pretty entertaining, but or last week I think that was. But I think Ricochet gets the win here.
Yeah. I'm completely with you as well. And I think just for the fact that, like, I really only watch the pay-per-views for AEW because they don't call them premium live events.
Yeah.
But the last two pay-per-views, Ricochet has not gotten a signature win. So I think just because of that, I think Ricochet needs to get a win just to establish a little bit more credibility. And so maybe you can kind of move him on to bigger and better things because he needs to carry some kind of title at some point in time. Like, otherwise, like what are you doing with him? So yeah, I'm going with Ricochet, I think, for this one. Next we have the AEW World Tag Team Championships between the Hurt Syndicate versus the Sons of Texas. Um, there's too much going on with the Hurt Syndicate right now, in my opinion, with the stuff with MJF going on with them, and eventually, there's been the talk of Cedric Alexander coming in as well, which we may even see it this Sunday because I think all of his stuff with WWE is up and he can go anywhere at this point. So I I don't think it's time to take the titles off the Hurt Syndicate yet. I think Bobby Lashley is just an animal, and I think this is going to be. I think the Sons of Texas are going to get destroyed here.
You're 100% right. The storyline with MJF is too big of a storyline. Uh, he no doubt he's going to play some sort of role in this match. And yeah, the Sons of Texas, Guevara and Rhodes are your Ring of Honor tag team champs. But outside of them being on Ring of Honor, they really haven't even been seen a whole lot on Dynamite. Um, so I feel like this is kind of just a holdover feud just to continue the overarching Hurt Syndicate storyline. And I mean, it'll be great. Shelton Benjamin is having just a career resurgence,
Oh my
and
God.
Bobby Lashley is just a god among men. And I will enjoy watching them hurt them.
Bobby Lashley, yeah, I've said this numerous times on this podcast. Bobby Lashley is one of my favorite wrestlers going, and it pisses me off so much that Triple H, and I blame Triple H for this because Vince didn't do this. Triple H fumbled him. How do you fumble somebody like Bobby Lashley? It's really a shame. Dude, and he wanted to stay in WWE. I've
Yep.
said this for a while. And how do you not find something to do for somebody like that? Bobby Lashley is money, like top to bottom. He's got the look. It's great on the microphone. He looks like a killer. Bobby Lashley is the man. I love him. Um, okay. This takes us to the only major championship match on the card, where we're going to have the Women's World Championship with champion Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa. And I really like Mina Shirakawa a lot. I just think she's got a great look, and I know she's like really popular with the internet nerds. Um, but I don't think it's time for Toni Storm to drop the title yet. And Mina just came into AEW very recently, so I just don't see her as the one to take the title off of Toni. I think they're gonna probably save that for the winner of the Jamie Mercedes match. So I'm going to go with Tony Storm retains here.
So, for as much as the internet loves Mina Shirakawa's personality, uh, quote personality, um, I think that Tony Storm wins this because, much like the earlier talk about how Okada and Omega was the money match, as much as I can't stand it, Mercedes Moné and Tony Storm is the money match. Um, I will tell you, I do have a side prediction though for this match. I think Mariah May comes back here.
You think so?
I do. I think that all this talk about Mariah May going to WWE was a swerve, and I think she comes back here in this match.
That's interesting. I don't. I think she's NXT bound, but we'll see. We will see. Um,
It should be a good match regardless, though. I mean, Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa both know each other well enough, and
yeah,
both have that like hard hitting style.
yeah,
The closest thing you could call women's strong style, and it'll be good.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Next, let's get into the two Owen Hart finals matches. So first, we'll start with the women. As we mentioned, we've got Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes Moné. It seems very likely that the person that wins this is probably going to be the one to take the title off of Tony Storm. And I hate this so
So do
much, but and I think we're going to be 6 for 6 here in agreements. But I think Mercedes is going to win, and I hate it so much because I think Mercedes is terrible.
Mercedes Moné is. We like to say it about Charlotte Flair, but I think it's even more true about Mercedes Moné is the Hulk Hogan of the current women's division. And I think that they're gonna have her win because Tony Khan is an absolute mark for Mercedes Moné, and she's gonna be the one to beat Tony Storm. And I feel bad that Jamie Hayter was put in this spot. That she's been basically like I know you don't normally watch the show, but if you would have watched the on this past yesterday, it would have been. It was almost like Jamie Hayter was the third wheel in her own segment,
Yeah.
and it's unfortunate because honestly, I think she's a better wrestler than Mercedes Moné,
I think a lot of
and
people are better wrestlers than Mercedes Moné.
I don't really understand the obsession with Mercedes and this CEO gimmick and having everything when she's not that good.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like we said, the money matches her and Tony Storm, and I hate it, and I hate that she's probably going to be the one to take the title off of Storm. But it's most likely the way this is going to go.
Yeah, that screams, one of the co-main events of your Texas show, right? Like
Yep.
that's exactly where that's going to happen. So it's unfortunate that Jamie Hayter and Mina Shirakawa have to kind of get sacrificed to have this match happen, but it is what it is. Um, for the men's Owen Hart Tournament Finals, we have Hangman Page versus Will Ospreay. Who do you got and why?
This first off, this is going to be an absolute banger of a match.
Oh,
Um, and as you know what, I think Hangman Page wins. I think they hold off on the Osprey thing. I think Osprey is
really?
held off. Yes, I think Osprey is held off until the summer show, and he wins the title at the summer show.
The summer show is the next big show, isn't it?
No, the one after this one, the one towards the end of summer, All In or whatever that one is.
Oh, the
The one
one
at
in.
the end.
Oh, you see, I think okay. Yeah, the all in or all out Texas or all in Texas, and then the other one is all out or something like that. It's like
Yeah.
a week after that. Yeah, I think I disagree with you. I think Osprey's gonna win this, and I think Osprey is gonna be the one to finally take the title off of John Moxley. Like, I mean, I think we can probably be in agreement that the title needs to come off of John Moxley. But with
Yep.
that being said, I don't think Hangman is the one to do it. They obviously didn't pull the trigger with Swerve. They didn't pull the trigger with Edge. I think, and obviously the whole cash in thing with Christian as well. But I think that this is like, this is all just building towards that big crowning moment to have Osprey as the face of your company. And I think this
So
is how you do it. You don't need another convoluted way to get Osprey into the title picture. I think, I think this
that's
just does
my
it.
That's my thought though, is as I'm following a similar path, but sort of diverging. I think that Page wins because they're not ready to take the title off of Moxley and they want to keep building this obnoxiousness. And so that way it's even bigger when Osprey takes it off of him. Because I don't know, is it in Europe again for the show at the end of summer, like it usually is? Because if it's over in England, that's 100% Osprey winning there.
Well, the big show is in Texas, and then
No, the end of summer one lately has been over in England the last couple of years.
I don't know off the top of my head. Can look it up. AEW pay-per-views 2025. Um, Fighter Fest is in Denver. Grand Slam is in Mexico. All In is in Texas. Forbidden Door is in London.
So it could be there.
They won't do it at for a Forbidden Door
They
show.
might if it's in his home country.
Oh, that's right. That is his home country.
That's my
Um,
thing is I feel like they might hold off on him winning until it's a London show. Or until an England show.
yeah, maybe you're right. What's the yeah, the All Out is the other show. That's in September. Yeah, I don't know. They're really pushing hard this Texas show though. I don't know,
Yeah.
which is July the
But
12th, and
but
you got to have a
that's my
huge.
other thing. You have your cowboy in Texas.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. I'm still gonna go with Osprey. I think that Tony Khan has got to be hearing it a little bit with John Moxley, and I think that they really just need to desperately do
But
a reset here. But I think I'm gonna
what I
talk.
like to
Go ahead.
what I like to refer to as the John Moxley problem.
Which leads us to the main event, and I'm going to be talking out of the other side of my mouth for this one because to that point, we've got Kenny Omega with Swerve, Willow Nightingale, Samoa Joe, and Powerhouse Hobbs versus Shibata, John Moxley, Claudio, Marina Shafir, Wheeler Yuta, and the Young Bucks. I think that John Moxley's group is going to get the win here, and I think it's building that up, building Moxley up specifically because Moxley, hasn't had a lot of credibility lately, and I think that that group needs to get a win, especially because the Young Bucks are on there, and like I hate them, and like they don't ever lose ever. So I think that that group gets the win, and it builds up Moxley for his title match at the Texas show, and I think the Young Bucks are probably going to be getting a match against the Hurt Syndicate real soon as well.
Well, I agree that the Moxley and his group needs to be built up. This isn't a title match, so this could very easily go the way of the heroes. Um, so I don't know. I'm a little bit. I have a hard time with this one. You know what I mean? Because there's a justification for both sides needing the win here.
Mhm.
But I think I'm going to lean more in your direction as well because of the what, like I said, the John Moxley problem. He has zero credibility as their champion, and at this point, you have the terrible booking of the last few pay-per-views. You have the fan base, even the diehard AEW fans are starting to get fed up with the way that Moxley has been booked here, and how do you go into a pay-per-view of the caliber of this Texas show with a no faith champion?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm going with Osprey too, because I just think it's time. Like, they gotta be hearing I mean, this dude books for the internet, for Christ's sakes. Like, I really think that like he's got to see the writing on the wall with this a little bit. So, but so who do you have?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I'll go with the Moxley group, I think.
Okay, so the only one we disagreed on was the Hangman Will Osprey match. Every other match we had the exact same person winning, which means
This
it's gonna go the total opposite for like all of them.
this I don't know. This pay-per-view kind of has the same issue that the last WWE PLE had. In a lot of these matches are pretty straightforward. And I think relatively predictable.
Mhm.
And T talked about it in a couple of the previous videos we've done. I think he may have mentioned it again when I wasn't here on Tuesday, that there needs to be better competition between these two companies, and having these predictable pay-per-views and PLEs does not help that. You need to have pay-per-views that people aren't expecting, results that people aren't expecting, give people a reason to want to tune in. Because if we get stagnant with these constant expected results, where's the fun in watching any of this?
I mean, you will get some barn burner matches on this card, but I also think, I think your point certainly has some merit as well, right? Like, if every single match goes exactly the way people think it's going to go, I mean, yeah, that's not really very interesting. Like, there's really got to be like, some, I don't know, like we always said with WWE, right? Like, there's got to be some chance that Roman Reigns will eventually lose that title, right? Like,
Yep.
there's got to be, we all thought it was going to happen with McIntyre at that Clash at the Castle show, and they didn't pull the trigger, but it got everybody watching. We all thought it was going to happen with Cody at that first WrestleMania. So I don't know. I mean, you need the intrigue, you need the drama. So I guess I get it. And it does make the payoff all the more sweet, but I think that AEW can like nil afford that right now because I think and I am not by any stretch of the imagination like this guy who hates on AEW, like, like some people, but at the same time, I'm not an AEW homer.
Yeah.
So I want to say that AEW is losing some of the goodwill it has built up with its fan base. And I really think that it is in desperate need of like a reset of its champions, some of its storylines, and frankly, the way that it's doing business. Because I don't love the way your top guys are all over the internet just blasting WWE for no reason. And I get it, like you gotta act like that, fine. But like, go like Will Ospreay going out there saying like, oh, nobody in WWE can hold my jock. Like, dude, get out of here. There are plenty of good wrestlers in WWE, and like for you to say something like that really kind of makes you sound a little bit ignorant. And I lose a little bit of respect for the guy for that. I know I'm going off on a tangent here,
No,
but
you're
it
100% right.
it is what.
We try to pride ourselves. I mean, we're always going to be a little bit biased one way or another.
Mm.
But we're never going to go out of our way to attack one promotion over another. We'll try to bring you the news and the storylines from both.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
um but you're 100% right. There's no need for, and like we've always said, tribalism, even amongst the workers, is the worst thing for this industry.
It ruins wrestling. It absolutely ruins wrestling. And I want to be the first one to go on record. Like, yeah, I've made it no secret that I don't care for Mercedes Moné. I think she is, the women's version of Hulk Hogan. But with that, and I don't think she's safe in the ring either. But with
Nope.
that being said, I think that this card is going to be awesome. Like, I love Bobby Lashley. He's the man. And I think that I'd say 6 of the 8 matches on this card are going to knock it out of the park. And you're going to see some damn good wrestling on this card. I actually think that this will probably be the second best pay-per-view of the weekend, with the NXT one being first and
Yep.
the WWE main show being third. Just
Yep.
like in sheer wrestling quality. And I got plenty to say. Like, you've heard us on this channel like shit all over WWE for what they're doing with John Cena and their top title. Like, I mean, it's just as bad as what AEW is doing with John Moxley. Like, I think the John Cena stuff is a friggin' joke. Like
Yep.
what are we doing? Like, you're just letting this guy dictate whatever the hell he wants to do, and he's gonna have a paper premium live event match against R-Truth. Like, I don't care if we're appeasing to the internet fans or not. Like, what are we doing? Who wants to
It's
see that?
not in 2025.
Not in
Um,
2025.
no, I mean, hell, like you said, this match card is relatively stacked. And just, even though I can't stand John Moxley, this Anarchy in the Arena match is going to be insane.
Oh
And
my
it'll be
God.
fun to watch. I'm just hoping it doesn't get a little bit too gross.
Yeah. 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 So that was AEW Double or Nothing. It's going to be a fun show. we're looking forward to it. Guys, as always, thank you so much for joining us for our predictions video. As we had mentioned on our Monday Night Raw review, the AEW and the NXT shows do not count towards official predictions. The only official predictions are for the WWE main shows. As you can see, Mr. Terrence Reese isn't here to defend himself. So with that, we will get you guys the rest of our predictions videos. Hopefully over the next couple of days, we'll have one for NXT Battlegrounds. We will have one for Saturday night's main event, as well as our 20th episode of the podcast Extravaganza for SmackDown, coming to you guys live this Saturday. So as always, I've been Mike with 716 Sports Entertainment, joined by Mr. Sean O'Neill. Guys, thank you so much. And as always, hit that like and subscribe button. We really, really appreciate it. And have a great evening and take care.